Hey, so it's me, Jen from Genuine Living again, and I wanted to share today about being a yes until you're a no. And I learned that concept from a coach that I had, Melissa Catherine Farley. So if you want to look her up, you can look her up on YouTube. She's on Instagram, she's on Facebook, she's everywhere. And she even has a melissacatherine.com website. So great with mindset, great with body, great with everything, business, all of it, relationships, as far as coaching goes. But I learned that concept, be a yes until you're a no. And quite honestly, it has taken me quite a few years to, I say quite a few, 2 years to really embrace that concept. And what it basically is that so often we decide to do something and then we start deliberating. We start figuring out all the reasons why we can't. And we start seeing all the obstacles. And actually, we're trained to do that, especially if you've worked in the corporate world and you've done like a SWOT analysis on something. You're literally looking for threats and weaknesses, and preparing for the worst case scenario and that sort of thing. And so what that can do is block you from trying, because it can get overwhelming if you start thinking of every possible thing that can go wrong, and you just try to plan ahead for those things and hedge yourself. I'm not saying that planning ahead is bad in and of itself, but you can create some safeguards, and later on I'll get into that in another video. But you can use those strengths of being a prepared planner type of person and at the same time be in action. So that's the thing. We can get so stagnant in our planning and our preparing and our making sure that we have every case scenario under control, taken care of before we begin, or just get going. So that's where you're being a yes. And sometimes that can be a very simple thing. I'm not even talking about life goals or vision. Today, I had a great example of where I was letting myself get in my head. I was just deciding to write in my journal, to spend time doing that today. I went outside and it was super hot. So then I opened the umbrella. I'm like, okay, problem solved, right? Crisis averted. But the umbrella wasn't blocking the sun. So then I moved the chairs and the tables, and I'm like, okay, now I've taken care of that threat, to my writing process, this heat. And then I was like, okay, it's still not blocking it. So then I went over and I used, I saw where there were some shaded areas, and I went into both of those areas, picked one, and there were bugs. So again, it was like seeing the problems over the possibilities. And I'm just like, if you're not careful, it's easy to get into the whole world is conspiring against me and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, no, I really wanted to write in my journal. So I came inside. And so now bugs solved, sun solved. And then I wanted to write in this specific room because it just felt better to write in that room. And I'm like, oh, I don't have anything to write on, and put my coffee on in the form of a table in there. Maybe I should. And your brain goes into, I need a specific desk, and I need it to be beautiful, and I want it to be perfect, and I want it to feel like this. Well, for today, I just needed a flat surface to write on and to sit my coffee on. And I had this table, which is right here. It's not pretty. But it was hidden in my closet, so I just grabbed it out and I thought I'll use it for today and I'll worry about the rest of that later. So I put it up, and it's adjustable because the couch I'm sitting on is lower to the ground. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of low to the ground. And so I was afraid the table would be too high. And this is what I'm illustrating, is you could get in your head so much on things. And I'm not saying you do this about writing or table. I'm saying you could do it about anything, what you're wearing, going out, having a good time, taking a class that you wanted to take. You can really start talking yourself out of it before you even get started. And what would be better is to just go ahead and start and wait for the obstacle. Like if it comes up, but maybe it won't. And in the table, I found that it was adjustable. So then it like spurred some thought, how can I make this table, which is really great in this aspect, be something that can work for me and be aesthetically pleasing? So it just kind of led me down a more creative path. And so I just want to encourage you, that was being a yes to the process of writing and taking the time to do that and not allowing perfectionism and like the what ifs and all of that to get in my head and stop me. Just keep being a yes. Is there going to be a perfect scenario? Is everything going to line up exactly the way it should before you get started? No. And I've really had to learn this the hard way, from starting my own business with my husband and growing that into something that we were primarily running every aspect of that business to now where we're able to just manage it remotely, to buying a house, to moving across the country, to doing all of the things that we're wanting to do. We've had to train ourselves out of looking at the problems and focusing on all the potential problems and trying to solve them in advance to being a yes until we're a no, until we meet that obstacle, and then still being a yes to the desire, and then just kind of navigating, trusting ourselves that we've navigated. So if you look over your lifespan and you see different problems and obstacles that you've overcome, no matter what they are, you can build some confidence in knowing that you're able to do that. You're able to navigate. If you've come this far, you're able to navigate. So be a yes to you. Whatever the desire is, whatever that thing that's been on your heart to do for a really long time, keep doing it. Keep being a yes. Don't get into SWOT analysis where you're looking at every possible scenario and coming up with a strategic plan. Just go for it and trust yourself to navigate. Be a yes to you today in whatever it is, and pay attention to those thoughts that come in that are not allowing you to be a yes, and kind of work on those. Write them down and go, okay, I call BS. And just continue to be that yes. The awareness around these thoughts that are standing in the way of your yes is half the battle. So if you can capture those on paper and just kind of call them out for what they are, you're able to see how that's just standing in your way of those things that are on your heart. I don't want you to get like me 10 years down the line and wish I would have. Just be the yes today and handle the obstacles as they come. I hope that encourages you today. Keep living genuinely.